Hey, what's up, VC? It's Glenn from South Texas. Into my second video now here for the vinyl community. Thank you for tuning in. And what we're going to do today is Rob Walker's vinyl tag of 2022. I know a lot of people did mashups and things like that. I'm just going to kind of keep it straight down the line since I'm a newbie, you know. So first thing we've got, plus I'm about half blind. I don't know. I'm going to try not to use my cheaters if I can help it, but we'll see. All right. First one, favorite album purchased in 2021. I love this. I know a lot of people think it's repetitive, and it is. You've got several versions of Queen of the Highway and Roadhouse Blues, and they're all different vibes, and it's just cool to hang out with the Doors in studio, man. Just love it, and it sounds great too. One of the few things I picked up in 2021 during Record Store Day. A couple of them I tried and missed, but this one I had to have, so I picked it up. Morrison Hotel Sessions from the Doors. Next up is album by the first person you saw live. Well, the first person I saw live on my first trip, you know, not with my folks or something like that, on my own with a bunch of other hooligans, was opened up. The show opened with this guy right here. He was in support of this album, Yngwie Malmsteen's Rising Force. Great album. Grew up hearing this a lot on the radio. I'll talk more about that in future videos. I grew up going to shows in South Texas. Saw it 1985. I think this came out in 84, but 85 was the concert at the Convention Center Arena, and it was rocking. It was loud. You know who was the headliner? Well, not their best album, but AC/DC in concert for your first show. It was pretty radical, man. Cannons were blasting. You had the Hells Bells, Angus Young. It was the full ride, man, and it was great. It was a great first show. Saw the Fly on the Wall tour. By the way, that's a promo. I don't know the guy I got this from. He decided to scotch tape the outer sleeve there on. I don't know why. Anyway, next up we've got album by a duo. This is pretty cool. This is another record that I remember from when I was a young guy listening to this. Nancy and Lee, which of course is Nancy Sinatra and Lee Hazlewood, their debut album. Some great stuff on here, flirting with Psych even. You got like Summer Wine, which is very cool. Sundown, Sundown. They do a cover of Jackson. Some Velvet Morning. Very cool. If you've never heard this, everybody needs to hear this album before they go away. It's great stuff. Nancy and Lee, there you go for your album by a duo. Album in the shrink. This is pretty cool. Yeah, this has been in shrink a long time, and it's starting to kind of let loose a little bit, but it's still on their Beatles' second album, and that's an early pressing right there on the Rainbow label. Gonna try to keep this moving. This is gonna be like a long video. I'll try not to make it overly long for y'all. Okay, concept album. Love this record. It's my favorite Pink Floyd album. Of course, has to do with you know, corporate America and just people in general getting on Roger Waters' nerves and all kinds of great stuff. It's a really cool album. And this, of course, the latest remastered pressing. That's sealed. I keep that one. I just bought it because I wanted to. This is my player copy. This is first pressing here, US pressing, and that's what I go to when I want to listen to Animals. But I still have this. Now, I found this at a secondhand store when I was like, man, I don't know, 13, 14 years old, and it didn't have a cover then. It doesn't have a cover now, and it's definitely got some scuffs and some scratches. I don't know if you can see that. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but man, from that point on, I've always loved that album, and it really actually sounds good, the parts that aren't scratched up. And so I've had it all these years. All right, what have we got here now? Album I've not played yet. I picked this up cheap for like 12 bucks. New Bohemians. And Wanted Dead or Alive. And it looks like, well, this is a Barnes & Noble exclusive. Ronnie Wood, Keith Richards, the New Bohemians. Barbarians, not Bohemians. That would be Edie Brickell. Anyway, the New Barbarians. Hadn't listened to that one yet. Maybe I'll put that one in the listen to later pile. Artist I discovered in 2021 is not a new artist. It is an artist that I really never, I heard the hits, just never really dug it. And then I got a copy of this album. This is a killer record, folks. If you've never listened to T-Rex, bang a gong, get it on, you know, and Jeepster's on here. It's not very representative of the work that Mark Bolan did as a whole, at least not as far as this record is concerned, in my opinion, man. I love it. This is one of those records that's good from start to finish here. If you've never heard it, pick it up. Electric Warrior from T-Rex, my discovery in 2021. Took me long enough. Live album, this one's beat all to hell, but it still sounds better. I bought an OJC because finding a stereo copy of this album, an original, is really tough. And like so many of my cherished records that I've kept over the years, you know, I found it at not a Goodwill, but like a local, what they call charity shop, secondhand store, what have you, thrift store. And this was one of them, and it still sounds great. You gotta listen past the crackles and everything. And man, the Cannonball Adderley Quintet in San Francisco featuring Nat Adderley, it's good stuff, man. This here is one of my favorite jazz tracks. So again, if you've never heard it, check it out. Where are we going next? Oh, album from a different continent. Asia's a different continent. And that's where this came from, an Asian pressing on First Records. They are not recognized by Discogs as a real label. I think they first used to sell these to servicemen and women overseas. So anyway, Magical Mystery Tour. It's kind of cool. I've never run across a Beatles bootleg quite like this one. Then we've got a album with a price sticker. How about ZZ Top de Huevo with that Sound Warehouse sticker on it? There you go. Another great album. I had this CD. This was one of the first compact discs that I ever owned when CDs were taking over the world there for a little while in that dark period. Sounded really good at the time, but I gotta tell you, man, this sounds phenomenal to me now. So there you go. What else have we got? How about something from the punk stratosphere or new wave? How about the Dead Kennedys? Plastic Surgery Disasters. I believe that's a Spanish pressing, I think, on Alternative Tentacles. Box set. Used to get these cheap from Warner Brothers. And this has got all kinds of different songs. It was kind of like a promo deal you sent away. It was dirt cheap. And it's got a little book. So you can see kind of some of the artists. And I think the guy smoked that owned this one. It got some funky stains on it. I don't know what he was smoking. Smells a bit resiny. I could be wrong. I don't know. But anyway, Looney Tunes, Merry Melodies. You know, they did the Big Ball and all those other promos that Warner Brothers did to promote their artists back in the early 70s. All right, sporting theme. Had to go. I was beating my brains out trying to figure this one out. And then it hit me. Oh, surfing. Surfing's a sport. And Surfing from the Ventures is a badass album. This is the original mono press on Dalton. I mean, if you've never really, and the Ventures have a jillion records out. If you've never gotten into the Ventures, if you've never heard this album, this is some awesome surf. I mean, this is a must-have. In my book, this is a must-have for everybody's collection. If you like surf, if you like guitar stuff, this is pretty awesome. All right, keeping it moving. This could have been my favorite album purchase in 2021. I wanted to go with something from Record Store Day, though. So this is a jazz album, and I got this off the eBay, and this is a Classic Records pressing here with the Quiet, and it does sound quiet, and it sounds awesome. I got it for 79 bucks, sealed, and I was looking around, and some people, and I don't know that this is the case, but they were saying, you know, be careful if you're buying sealed stuff from this era. This thing is perfect and plays wonderfully. So, yeah, if you can find a Classic Records pressing of this album right here, Miles Davis Kind of Blue, pick it up. And then we've got a best of album. Love these guys. Their originals are pretty pricey, but I found this one and it sounds fantastic. Sublime with the matchbook cover. Show you that. If I can get it open here. Trust me, it's a matchbook cover. There you go. Yeah, this has all the good ones on it. And I'm not a real big, you know, guy who buys a lot of greatest hits albums, but that one, I had to pick it up. I love those guys. All right, where are we at now? Album with at least 8 people on it. I think there's at least 8 people on that one right there. And this is jam session number 1. And this cover art here is by David Stone Martin, who did like 500 jazz albums, man. Some really great artwork there. The record, you ask, it's trashed, but I'm not getting rid of it because it's part of history, and I love jazz. And one of these days, I may find one with a trash cover and a perfect vinyl, so gonna need it. Hopefully, I'll keep looking. Soundtrack. There was only one soundtrack when I was in high school. Well, no, actually, there was a bunch because I grew up in the 80s, but this one spoke to me the most. Heavy metal. And you have so many great tunes on here. Even songs I didn't like back in the day, like Blue Lamp from Stevie Nicks. I just love it now. Great stuff. Very cool movie when it came out. Get out your plutonium Nyborg and enjoy heavy metal. Alright, VCLT. I haven't been in the VC very long. It's my second video doing this Rob Walker Vinyl Tag 2022. And but a good buddy of mine, I got to visit with him before Christmas. We've worked in radio together many years, and I'm out of radio right now. You know, who knows what the future brings, but he's still doing the thing. But we get together every now and then, and he brought me this one, which is a posthumous release from Buddy Holly. And I'm not going to go into it too much, but there is a thing there on the back that's written by his parents, and it's pretty touching. But great album. Fiji, happy to have it. Never have run across this one. He also gave me this, by the way, which I'm going to start reading, I promise. Trying to get me to read a book is like, it's a really difficult thing, but stuff like this interests me, as I know it does many of you. Ted Templeman, A Platinum Producer's Life in Music. And so I'm going to put that over here in my to-do pile as well. Album with no writing on the cover. Well, there's writing on the back of this one, and there's a hype sticker on the front, but there's actually no writing on Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers' Echo. At least not on the front. Best I could do, man. So there you go. And another great album. Very, just awesome sound. And of course, I love all, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers are one of those bands that toward the end of their career, my gosh, man, everything they did was just, it just kept getting better and better, even from Wildflowers on through. Just a big fan of Tom Petty, man. That bummed me out big time when he passed away, as I'm sure it did many of you. All right, what do we got here? 7-inch single. Well, we'll put that one down. How about this one? It's the Sojourners Kids. And this came out in 1969. Sunshine, Pop, Psych. And it's very cool, actually. It was produced by Norman Petty, who is a producer of note. And did I say El Paso is where these guys were from? El Paso, 1969. This is the one I like. And I guess this was the A-side. But the La Da Dee, Can You See? It's so very, very 1969. I dig it. All right. We're winding them down now. Colored vinyl album. I was one of the people that bought this record. I don't think many people, nobody ever talks about it. It's not that bad a record, actually. I mean, we're not going to go back to Surfer Rosa, so I just love it when the Pixies put out anything. You got the white vinyl right there. And how do you pronounce it? I don't know. I've heard some people say Beneath the Eyrie. I think it's Erie. E-Y-R-I-E. Pixies. And finally, album from 1982. Had to go with this one because in 1982 I was in high school and just starting to get into trouble, and in a good way, and having lots of fun, and this was everywhere. This was a must-have in 1982 in my neck of the woods down here in Sotex. Sammy Hagar and Three Lock Box. You know, everything. The whole album. Rise of the Animal. There's a song that nobody ever talks about. Alright, sounds like somebody found me on my phone, so I gotta go. I want to throw a shout out to, oh man, so many great vinyl community members. And as I said before, I watch all of you. Melinda, let's shout out to the ladies. Melinda is awesome. 8 Vinyl Low, love watching her. Telegram Sam is new. That's cool. She's putting out videos like, man, bam, 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 bam. Got to check her out too. And everybody else in the VC. Enjoy everybody. And it looks like it's growing. I'm here. And I'm glad you are too. Thanks for watching. And we'll talk to you again next time. Glenn from South Texas. I am out.